Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. System, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst I say and turn them to a
What is going on, fam? Welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Nightcap. We're doing this every Monday through Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're bringing you some of the most important market news as well as technical analysis that you can actually use for tomorrow. We got a lot to talk about. Bitcoin is pulling back. There's a lot of things that are going on in the world today we're going to take a look at, but we also have a very, very special guest that came on today, or that is going to be on tonight. And we're going to go ahead and bring him up along with FD. You guys know Detroit's own, our man, the myth, the legend, one of the busiest guys in crypto. He's the co-host. But let's go ahead and bring up Drewth Crypto from Blockchain Basement. Here we go.
Oh my gosh, what an intro. What that song got me jacked up, man. I was all pumped up on that intro song. Thanks for having me on, guys, and glad to join you. Don't mind my Cujo in the background. He's just corralling the house and everything like that, but glad to be on with you, man. Crazy day today on the charts there, riding from 99,000 down to 92,600. Felt like a blink of an eye it took to make that market move, so it's been pretty interesting to see, but glad to be here and talk about crypto with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We definitely appreciate you coming on, man, taking the time. I know it's late over there on the East Coast, but that's kind of the idea of the show, man. Wrapping up the day, giving the news out to the people on the way out before they go to sleep, I guess, or for me, before I go to work, because I work the night shift. But yeah, man, it's super cool of you to come on with us. And let me give you the opportunity real quick to introduce yourself. I know most of the people in the chat know who you are. You got a pretty good presence out there. But, you know, for those who are just tuning in for the first time, I know a lot of retail is coming back in the space. Grandmas, aunts, uncles, and it's about to be Thanksgiving. So, you know, we're all going to be talking about it again. But
I know.
Yeah, man.
And it's going to be argumentative. You know, I'm going to yell at Uncle Joe. I'm gonna be like, you stupid, you didn't listen to me. 4 years ago, you didn't listen to me. You're not going to listen to me again, and you suck. No, I'm just kidding. Be thankful to your family for the time around them. I run Blockchain Basement. It's a channel that's been around for about, say, a year and a half, maybe on 2 years now. I don't feel like I have a big presence in the space, but I appreciate that. You know, I just show up every day and talk about crypto, do what I love. Started as a macroeconomic and kind of a wartime researcher. And ended up having the chance to run my own channel, Blockchain Basement. We're at 64,700 subscribers and really great community. I talk about a lot of stuff. I'm a heavy prepper. I love the Second Amendment. And really, I found crypto through communications, because decentralized communications are the ultimate power to we the people. And that's how I ended up kind of finding crypto. It wasn't because of price go up. It was about communications, and then just was able to go all in March 15th of 2020 when a bunch of people caught the flu, and ended up changing my life and figuring out how to leverage crypto to buy real estate, vehicles, all that stuff. Now I got a couple acres out here in Georgia. Got a couple dogs behind me. You'll see, big old family, and I send it, man, every single day. So I'm glad to be on here.
FD, man. You heard it again, didn't you?
Yeah.
That real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
So
I did the same thing, man. After the first bull run, we'll say that I was part of, I cashed out a big portion of my portfolio and reinvested into real estate. So bought a couple duplexes out in Wisconsin, and so that's kind of history. And now I've been rebuilding the portfolio, and here we are again. It's been kind of nice, and we'll see. We'll see. I think I'm going to keep it in this time, though. I don't think I'm going to reallocate much of it because I did miss out, we'll say, on some gains by reallocating, but long-term play, I think it's still going to work out for me. But yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, one thing you said there really has me thinking about how far back down we're going to fall after this market. I would absolutely love this market to repeat itself and to come back down to the previous all-time high in 2021 that we saw. There are a couple variables that we only dreamt of a few bull markets ago that are tangibly in place right now. We have S4912 from Cynthia Loomis, who's a senator out of Wyoming, that's pushing this Bitcoin backed dollar conversation, even the conversation happening while the BlackRock ETF's going on. This is honestly setting up a potential for nation state FOMO. And they don't play the few year game when it comes to buying these assets. So that is a big question on my mind if we're going to see that repeated mass sell-off, from falling for, let's say we hit 150, 200, 250. Are we going to actually reset back down and give people another chance at buying a whole Bitcoin at, say, 60 grand? It's just a big question in my mind that maybe we could riff about, but I don't know. This market seems like it's all gas, no brakes lately.
Yeah, no, like you said, there's a lot of factors that have come into the market or come into play at this point that we didn't have before. Because in 2021, we were dreaming of regulation. In 2021, we were dreaming of adoption. Like, that's all here now. Like, I don't know that regulation is necessarily in place, but it's in the works, right? And we know that it's a matter of time. But the fact is, the adoption part of it, we can't. That discussion is long gone. Like, that's done. BlackRock's in the game. There's a lot of officials, elected officials that are backing crypto at this point. It's just a matter of, what is the next step? And like, do they crack down on some of the alts? That could be a thing, and to be personally honest with you, like, I like some of the memes. I like that aspect of our culture, but at the same time, it does hurt a lot of people. So I'm not totally against them, regulating some of that aspect of cryptocurrencies, right? Like,
you don't
have
like
some
having a
utility.
12-year-old flip you off after he just rugged you for $20,000 on a a Pumped Up Fun live video. You're saying that's a problem?
Yeah,
no, things have gotten weird on Pumped Up Fun, and
yeah, they have.
when Pumped Up Fun first came out, I was looking at the tokenomic effect of it on Solana. It almost is working on making Solana deflationary, but culturally, it seems to be a big negative for us, and a larger negative against the really I don't know how to say this, but crypto wants to be respected by the world. It wants to be utilized for even potentially someday blockchain voting systems to shore up our voting programs, to shore up a lot of these data sharing systems that we have that are just archaic. And if we have 12-year-olds out there just flipping people off and creating a token and rugging it in 5 minutes and just running amok, I mean, it makes it much less respectable in the long term. And it's a pretty black mark on Solana, honestly. Like, Solana has been around for a while. It was already dealing with going down intermittently, like McDonald's ice cream machine. Now it has to deal with being the crypto red light district, and that's going to be something they're going to have to get out of their history somehow. I don't know how they're going to do it, though.
There is nothing worse than going to McDonald's for a chocolate milkshake and the machine is down.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It is It's a crusher for my soul. All right. Hey, we're going to give a couple shout outs here in the chat. I can see that's going a little bit already. I want to shout out Crypto Billy. He's our unofficial sponsor of the show, man. He's always dropping super chats. So shout out to you. Thank you very much. If you guys don't know, Crypto Billy, he does a space every Tuesday with Billy Goat Tales. It's phenomenal. You guys should check that out. Please go. And they also have YouTube. Go subscribe. Go check them out. They are family here on this channel. All right, Crypto Chips in the house. Eddie Rock Crypto, our unofficial hype man. Alex O Crypto. He is part of the fam. Me and him go back a little bit. Love that guy. All sets in here. What is up with you? Wix Wife Fine 89. She's one of the moderators. How you doing? Good to see you. Scroll down here a little bit. Alexandra G, our super mods in the house. Let's see some emojis for her. And Harp's in the house. He said, "Yo, everyone, what's up?" Trade Intuition's in the house. He just joined the show. Not this show, but our channel. So he is now doing his own show here on Piper Academy. So check him out in the afternoons. He's doing a trading centric show. So good information there. Definitely go give him a look. As well, subscribe to his channel. He's still doing things on his own channel as well there. All right, scrolling down a little bit more here. Who else we got? Got Crypto Crag in the house. He said good evening to everyone. And let's see. You guys are just having your own little conversation in here, man.
They like my Christmas tree. I just did the Christmas tree. Dude, that was like the greatest. I love Christmas.
I do too.
I got twin girls that are 3 years old, plus another 2, 6 years old and 8 years old. But the twins they broke a piece. It was aggravating seeing them run amok and go nuts. But I just was like, you know what? It's Christmas. They're just, as long as there's no blood, just do it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm a total Christmas nerd when it comes down to it. I appreciate you guys noticing the tree back there. I really, I love it.
I'm not gonna lie, we're already listening to Christmas music, man. Every time my daughter gets in the car, we're already rocking it. So
hell yeah, dude. Mariah Carey is the Bitcoin of Christmas music. That's what I realized when I was sitting there, going through all the songs. Mariah Carey is the Bitcoin of Christmas music. So look at Alex Cohen. He knows what's up. The crypto and Bitcoin and Christmas though, man, I was kind of thinking about it. It's like being so heavy into crypto has made providing for my kids during Christmas way less stressful. And it's not like I, overdo it on the Christmas gifts, but not having those kind of, worries of I overspending. It's like, no, I put my useless fiat dollars into magic internet money. I 5X that. And then I spend it on my kids to have a great holiday that they're going to remember forever. Like nothing feels better than that. So shout out to all the Christmas nerds out there. I'm one of them. So
speaking of which, we just had Magic Internet Money on the show. I think it was last week, nice. Man. Yeah.
He's awesome, man. Yeah, he's does great work.
Wicked Absolutely. Smart. That dude can chart with the best of them for sure. All right, let's wrap up giving these shout outs here. Usernames in the chat. I think he had a question for you. I don't know if you saw it.
Let's check it out.
Let's see here. Let me scroll down and find again. I have a question for Drew.
Okay.
It says, I know you moved to ATL once you made Settled In. Did you only now recently discover the ATL Southern hip hop? Asking because that brow game, bro.
Oh no, my kids are huge Ronaldo fans. And they convinced my wife to, they all wanted to cut the little line in my head. So I, even look more like Ronaldo or whatever.
There it is.
It's more for the kids, I thought he was short. He's actually kind of tall. Like he's like 6'2". So
yeah. For a soccer player. Smooth. He's extremely tall for a soccer player.
Yeah. I'm just learning about Ronaldo. I don't watch sports ball. I don't really watch television, but my kids are getting me acquainted with culturally what's going on with Ronaldo and Messi and all this stuff. So I'm having to be more hip. And I was getting a haircut and they threw that in on me. But yeah,
dude, the stuff you do for your kids, it's yeah. I do some weird stuff sometimes. All right, cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you if you're in the chat. Sorry if I missed you, if I didn't give you a shout out. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into some of the news here, but not without going through our first segment. You guys know what we're about to do. Let's All right, it is the Daily DJing. So We're going to look at the chart here. Here is the current setup that we're looking at. We are on the 1 hour time frame. You can see it has formed a little bit of a formation. You see the channel is just going down and right, but just recently we broke out. Now, a little bit of background here. If you go on the 4 hour chart, you will see that we did get a bounce around the golden pocket here. That's where you saw a little bit more of that buying pressure come in. We've now broke out of this little pattern that we had formed here on the hourly, and this only goes back to really just today. All right, so here's your opportunity, guys. Again, this is a DGen segment, so we're not going to do a whole lot of TA on it. You guys just have the opportunity to tell me if you want to go long or short. Looking at the votes right now, we currently have 24 votes, and 62% of you are saying long. See what you guys say in the chat here, but it looks like it's going to be a long entry here. FD, what are you thinking, man? Haven't heard much from you yet.
I'm looking at the chart. I'm thinking long. I'm actually trying
Thinking
to open
long?
the position now. That's what I was doing. Yeah. So I wanted to
Oh,
flip
he's trying
this
to get in on it.
94.
All right.
Yeah, I wanted to flip this this 94 2-3 level and hold that. So I'm trying to wait and see what this hourly close is looking like. So I'm actually waiting on that, but I'm long. I'm thinking long.
You're long? All right.
I'm thinking long.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's just mark it in. 50x leverage. It's only going to cost about $100, and this really is my money. So let's go for it. Long it is. This is for you. We'll come back and check this out on the way out of here. So that being said, let's go over to the first bit of news here. And you guys know it is inevitable. Whenever Jim Cramer says buy something, do the opposite. All right, because here we are. All right, Bitcoin. It was like literally, I think within hours, Jim Cramer said, own Bitcoin. Within hours, we are now sitting here at our current situation. So inverse Kramer strikes again. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought about taking a pretty large position just for funsies. I didn't. I had some self-discipline and control, but now I'm regretting that, to be honest with you. What do you think, man? Drew, you think this is a thing? It seems to always play out.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's almost like universe's joke on Jim Cramer or something like that. But yeah, I mean, he's been dogging crypto and Bitcoin for a while at all the wrong times, and then he comes out bullish. It's just he's the perfect sign of retail excitement, I would say, because he's like a a host for a larger platform. So it's what is it, like MSNBC or something like that? They have a very, very large channel, and it's the average Joe kind of watching the channel. So then all the average Joes start talking to him in his bath spa or wherever it is that he goes to before he shows up on the set. So he's just kind of like a perfect signal of retail interest starting to peak and be excited about Bitcoin. At large, I don't find him horribly responsible for the pullback, but something about it. I mean, every time that he said Bitcoin was dead, we would pump that day of. Inverse Kramer is a pretty strong indicator for some reason. I don't know what it is about him that causes this, but yeah, I mean, him coming out and saying he was good for Bitcoin, I kind of knew we were in for some pain today just seeing that silly headline. I don't know. It's almost it's laughable, but also kind of like concerning. You know what I mean? Like, is this guy tied into the universe and like literally moving at an opposite frequency that things go? Like,
it's so I think you nailed it when you said that it's kind of about the sentiment and where we are, right? Retail's starting to flow back in. Everybody's talking about it again. He seems to be like this lagging indicator. Like that's what it feels like to me. He waits till everybody's hyped about it or talking and like it's big news. And then he's like, yeah, let's do this. And then it's like, yeah, well, you should have said that like maybe a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. Like you're behind the curve, man. So like that's kind of the way I feel. He's just like feeding into the hype. And I think that's kind of what you were getting at in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, he's always gives us content to like make fun of. When Bitcoin was at $15,000, he was just sure it was done. I remember on the basement, we were figuring it was the bottom just from the price to mine Bitcoin was at 19K. Jim Cramer's on national television telling everyone Bitcoin is now dead, right? And we highlight all the old times he called it dead before too. But he's just a retail representative, I guess, is the best way to kind of describe him. And honestly, like, the more that people like him talk about crypto to normies, the more inflows you're going to see through old school investment vehicles, through these ETF, vehicles that are now available through Wall Street. It's not going to be horribly bad for us in the long term to have Jim Cramer thinking Bitcoin's great. But the moment that Bitcoin breaks down and loses 10% at the heat of the bull market, he's going to call it dead once again. And then the cycle will just rinse and repeat. But you know what? I mean, he's made a lot of money either through, investing or just being a representative on the television. So, shout out to him. He's probably got a much larger bag than the average person does. So,
yeah, he's probably doing all right. Hey, a couple shout outs real quick to Crypto Blood. He's in the house. What's up to you, man? And then who else was in there? K Diggity, man. He said he loves the daily DGen segment. It is fun, man. We try to be a little more interactive with you guys and watch me lose all my money. But actually, you guys have been doing great. I think we're up about 60% on our daily DGen. It's kind of funny. So
wow, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I mean, I was watching the pullback. I incidentally have the interest to do a 50x long as well. But I don't know if I can sleep on something like this because
it's super small capital, man. That's one of those things. It's like, it's for the fun, just to see what we can do, keep track of it. But it's cool. It's cool. Everyone seems to like it, so we keep doing it. All right. Next up, we got our man Michael Saylor buying another 55,500 Bitcoin at 5.4 billion. All right, so that's at 97,862. You want to talk about conviction? Can't question this man's conviction. All right, he's buying the top, at least the local top. So he's in it to win it, and he has said before, hey, the only thing for him is to own more Bitcoin. He doesn't care when. He's just going to keep acquiring more and more. The other benefit to this, understand that when individuals own Bitcoin, they can take loans out against that Bitcoin, right? So there's some other factors for him, especially as somebody that's very wealthy, that can play into this move. It's not just about acquiring Bitcoin all the time. There is definitely some, we'll say, financial benefits to him acquiring this Bitcoin. So keep that in mind. All right. Next thing we got up here is Pump.Fun. That got mentioned a little bit there earlier. It's just been crazy. If you guys are following some of the craziness that's going on there, I mean, pooping and all kinds of stuff, it's wild, right? It is wild. Kids flicking people off, like rugging left and right. I'm not a big fan. All right. Like I don't like where our culture is getting, and I'm not even talking about crypto culture. I'm talking about America. All right. You I'm not going to say you because I'm not going to say our audience, but some of the people out here, they're getting crazy. All right. And the social media stuff, like it's gotta chill, man.
It was like crypto purge vibes on there, really going through all the videos. Like it looks like a purge, like on the blockchain is what it looked like. And how, just on the Michael Saylor thing, how hilarious is it that he buys $5.5 billion of Bitcoin and we crash from $99,000 to 92,600, like the same day of? That just shows you how much money is really flowing through this.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Yeah, that was a very, very interesting thing to witness today. But this Pump.Fun thing, it is a sign. You get a kind of a glimpse into just how sick corners of society are, because there's money involved with tasks to be done online, and they're having to live stream, and it's almost like a psychological experiment that was just rolled out, and utilizing blockchain in the form of payments to basically escalate that, and escalate the emotion within humans. And it does give you a glimpse at kind of what a lot of the world, or a lot of America, is made of right now. Like, traditionalism is the new punk rock. The average person out there is seemingly living for very little moral fabric, very little respect for themselves. And you have to keep that in mind. You know what I mean? You have to keep that in the back of your head. You know, it's a thing that I really I hope the power stays on in the United States. Let's just say it that
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
because you would see those people not on their pump fun live streams. They'd be, you know, rolling around in U-Hauls down your street. So
There's some of them that's like part of the challenge, right? Is like staying in a
mhm,
room without lights. Just
yeah,
that too. Like, I mean, and they go nutty. These people go crazy. Like
yeah.
it's kind of wild to watch.
I
But
mean, I saw some firing shots out the window, you know, doing really crazy stuff, and it's aggravating for me. It
Yeah.
is aggravating for me.
Somebody actually, I think they like tied themselves up and I think they end up dying, and that's why they cut off the live stream or something like that. And
Jesus.
it's crazy,
Yeah,
man. And it's,
I
you know
think
what?
that was. I saw the end of that. It looked like they lifted him up and he was alive, so it looked like he lived. But I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's live streaming stuff like that is, ugh, that's very
Yeah.
bad for society.
You know what? I'm looking, being in this space, man, so long, Drew, with TradeFly. I've been looking and I see how the big players think. So they're probably they like this. They like, you know, all the crazy things that's going on and what's going on, and they're in the background accumulating the real stuff. They're
Mm,
in the background while we're over here playing, while the normies and everybody's over here, you know, dabbling and jumping out the roof for meme coins. They're back there building, and they're back there doing things that's really going to matter in the next, you know, 5 to 10 years. So it's just like a distraction. You know, usually the
yeah,
people, the powers that be, or whoever, they like distraction so they can be doing what they're doing without being like, you know, bothered, or without anybody watching them or things like that. So I think they're going to let it happen, and it's going to happen this cycle. And you made an interesting point earlier when I was actually doing trying to trade and live at the same time. I apologize, but you made a good point about it being possibly like maybe like the last great crypto bull run. You know, and I can see that as a positive and a negative. I mean, I would like to see it
mhm,
go down and back up again, but I think with all the new, you know, the entities and the big players coming in, I think there is going to be some regulation. I don't know if it's going to, it wouldn't be like, you know, if the current administration got in, but it's got to be some type of regulation. It's going to be something going on. And I think the meme coins are going to probably be the first ones to take the brunt of that regulation. So if you're a meme coin guy, man, I think you should take advantage of this cycle, because I'm not sure if this is going to be repeated.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think within that worry that I have, um, I think it's this cycle we're going to see upside to decentralized science, but I think next cycle is where we're going to see applications of blockchain in the medical industry or science industry really be quite amazing. So
Yeah.
that is something in my mind. I think that as we see like nanotechnology rolled out over the next 5 years, well, it'll be kind of in season for the next bull market, and you know that's I think that we could move into that sector to find some pretty insane gains after this one's complete.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I was thinking about too, and I know people have talked about it, and I think like, okay, where are like these early entries for utility? Obviously, games, right? We're already kind of seeing that, and they're still kind of developing along. But I think you're going to start seeing it in like the DMV. I think you'll see it there. I think you're
Yeah,
going to see it in real estate. I think those are going to be some players in the space, and then yeah, I think the medical field makes a lot of sense too. That yeah, I just think the utility, like that's one of the aspects that I've been kind of yearning for, and that's why initially when I got into crypto, a lot of the, you know, we'll say alts that I was looking at were gaming centric, because I really thought that like in terms of utility that was going to be the first spot. It just made a
mm,
lot of sense to me in my mind, and we've seen a little bit of it. A couple of them ran, but it really hasn't taken off the way I thought it would. I was kind of hoping that you would see blockchain like start to move into games as that currency within a game. And I don't know that, you know, we're really going to see that like I was kind of anticipating. I think the game has to now be built around that cryptocurrency or through that, you know, like AVAX or whatever the case may be.
yeah.
You know, and I was hoping that that would sneak into something like Fortnite. And I was like, oh, that'd be game on. You start opening that up, you know, but
Well,
it
you
didn't
have to think
happen.
about the dynasty of games like Fortnite. They want to control the capital flow. They
Yeah.
don't necessarily control the capital flow if they open it up to AVAX blockchain. So that's because I'm a huge like Pokemon nerd and I played a lot of Grand Theft Auto, and I could very easily see those games, implementing crypto. But then Niantic wouldn't be making the dollar when you purchase the Pokeballs, right? It would be at best earning this tiny little fee. Um, Grand Theft Auto, you can't really, I mean, I don't know if these days you can buy, but I just feel like the concentration of money flow is too well controlled by these major gaming corporations that currently have the big winning games to really relinquish that control. But we did see like Off the Grid is built around Avalanche, and that is seemingly turning into at least a decent game. And on the DMV side, Avalanche has also begun that process down in California with
Yeah.
doing experimentation and moving that DMV onto their blockchain. So these things are happening. And the real world asset sector, this bull market, is another one that really excites me, because there's such a waste of paperwork and time and resources when something as simple as a house deed can be very, very easily put on the blockchain.
Yep.
You can have a whole history of it. You get your house facts, all the stuff right there on the blockchain. It doesn't have to be this. And this is another thing, is because these industries, like the real estate industry, it's trying to gate and block
Yeah.
its interior from acknowledging how much costs can be cut by using blockchain to organize and store and transcribe the data of these house deeds. Like, it's an
Mhm.
immense amount of money they'd be saving, and an immense amount of, in my opinion, overpaid people, pen
Yeah.
pushers that literally, spend half the day at work, if that, and half of the time that they are there, they're zoning out, staring at the television screen and thinking about what they're going to eat for dinner or whatever like
Oh,
that.
no. They're
Um,
drinking, they're playing golf, they're going to
yeah,
sports events. That's what they're doing,
absolutely.
man. I've seen
Absolutely.
it
They're milking the
firsthand, man.
system. And
Yeah.
this is how we end up with this house of cards of debt on top of debt on top of debt, just continuing to pile on this insurmountable mess, this fiat mess that we've created, is from this expectant culture that we have now with these industries that literally will not relinquish the control. It's the same kind of contrast when my father's a chemical engineer, and he was always looking at hydrogen as being a great solution for vehicles. But the oil and gas industry and the electric vehicle industry are basically the Goliaths in the room that will not relinquish the control of, it's either electric vehicle or oil and gas. There's no room for hydrogen or anything else that could be a good
Mhm.
solution, because they already have control of the money valves of that system. So it is something that eventually will break. And I think that the first pieces of blockchain that are going to help that break are the Oracle type plays, and how you like Chainlink is like this whole conversation is why I'm the big Chainlink is my biggest hold, is because of exactly what we're talking about. I feel like real world assets are going to make their way to the blockchain, and the company or the blockchain that is highest up working with Swift already is going to be the beginning. And then you have Ondo Finance, you have a bunch of different RWA plays that I think are going to bring in a disgusting amount of total value locked when real assets start getting transcribed onto the blockchain and brought in. The value of that home is now on Avalanche, say, or all of that is it's a absolute avalanche that's just waiting to happen. God, I just said Avalanche and I was talking about AVAX. I did not mean to do that.
It's on your mind,
Um,
man. It's on your mind.
it is on my mind. I really think that we're underselling it. And also treasuries. We talk about the pressures on the U.S. government to sell these T-bills all the time, these macroeconomic, dooms. And trust me, I'm a prepper. I understand the whole worry of the bubble popping and stuff, and I've done everything I can just in case. But they're going to find a way to sell the T-bills. I can tell you that much. As long as the lights are on inside of the Federal Reserve and the federal government, they are going to find a buyer for the T-bills.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll go to extreme lengths to do this, but essentially what I see is blockchain and Ondo are now able to sell T-bills to anyone on the planet in a fractionalized manner. And this has been brought to MakerDAO. This has been brought to a bunch of different blockchains. The government sees the value in finding sales of T-bills through crypto. And Tether is the 4th largest holder of T-bills on the planet for the United States. At this point, it is a immovable object meeting the unstoppable force of the U.S. government. And it's essentially just this forced marriage that we're seeing happen. It's going to take some time to get used to, and they're going to find each other's parts to play. But we have to be positioned in the right way to, if we find, one of these things come to fruition over the next year or two, because of everything happening with Bitcoin, altcoins are going to go absolutely berserk. And that is what I'm so excited about, seeing Bitcoin's price action right now.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. You made a couple great points there, talking about T-bills and, some of the we'll say the driving factors behind it. But yeah, that's really, really good insight, man. We really appreciate it. So, little reset here. We got about 100 people watching between X and YouTube right now. If you guys are new around here, go ahead, give us a like and subscribe. We would appreciate that. Go check out Drewth Crypto. He is at Blockchain Basement. We do have his socials as well here. They're down in the details. You can check those out.
Or it's also known as Glockchain Basement.
Glock. There it is.
I might rebrand after the bull market,
There you go. Right on. All right, guys. Well, if you guys have been around for any amount of time watching this show, you know what time it is. We're going to go ahead and bring on our 4th member of the show, Mr. Elmer Fudd. All right. In case you guys have been living under a hole, it doesn't sound like Drew has. He's already prepping. But they're talking about moving some nuclear weapons over to Ukraine. Now, I don't know how much validity that this story has. However, that being said, that what we do know is tensions between Ukraine and Russia are picking up significantly, right? They're actually firing ballistic missiles in the vicinity of Russia. I don't know exactly what they were shooting at or how those actually entered into Russia, but they did. So that being said, it's getting a little weird out there. And I do think that this might have a bit of an impact minus the inverse Kramer. I actually think this has a larger impact on some of the price action that we might be seeing because we saw this before. When Russia went into Ukraine initially, there was a pretty big dip in the market. It didn't take long for it to recover, but there was that little bit of shock value and you saw the market react, and that's based on news. And that is why we talk about the news here. And, I mentioned that, a lot that you cannot just look at the charts. There's a lot of other things that are going on in the world that are going to impact price action, and you got to be spun up on that. And that needs to be part of your decision process or your thinking process when you're investing your capital into something, especially if you're doing swing trades or intraday or anything of that nature. Now, if you're just doing your DCA thing, do that by all means, continue on. But, these are the things that you have to take into consideration. Drew, you look like you got something to say, man.
Well, I mean, Putin probably just doesn't want to look. I don't know if you guys curse on this, but he doesn't want to look like a pansy. Okay, he did take a missile that was from British sources into the province of Russia. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. So this response came right after that. Russia hit with a medium range, pretty large missile in Ukraine. It caused a lot of stir, a lot of hubbub. Now Ukraine's asking for nuclear weapons from United States and European. Yeah, I mean, that's the worst idea ever, is to give Ukraine nuclear weapons of their own to use right now. But essentially what I feel like is going to happen is Trump's going to negotiate a portion of Ukraine away to Russia to stop the war from cascading to World War III actual across the world. That's painful for people to hear if they, are really against Russia or whatever the hell, what side you wanted to take after watching enough media to feel like you need to defend their border. I would like America to stay the hell out of this problem and to fix our own problems that we have here in the United States. How about that? That'd be great. Maybe we could fix our own border before we start worrying about other people's borders. But yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm in the military.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. It's like over the last 4 years under the Biden administration, they have let enough military aged males over the border illegally to outman our current military 6-1. Think about that. And we were sitting here worrying about how Ukraine's border is going to look in 4 years if we don't send another $400 billion over. Oh my God, whatever will we do? Now, probably what's going to happen, in my opinion, is that Trump's going to let Putin have essentially his battle lines that he's already accomplished in Ukraine, if not even more. And Ukraine will have to stop the war. And this is, again, probably bad news for some, great news for others. But I think peace in negotiation in general is what this world needs so that we don't turn into a pile of radioactive dust and the thoughts of what were. So, cooler heads need to prevail, a little bit of negotiations. And this is probably the cats playing or the mice playing while the cat's away. Trump's the kitty cat that's going to be back in office here in a few weeks. And they're getting their last final moves in, their little shoves before the orange one returns and they have to make concessions. So I know it's a little scary. And yes, I have chemical, biological, and nuclear setups as best as I can, but it's not like anyone can run or hide from a nuclear bomb. If it goes off, your food, your water, everything is rotten. What are you going to do? You're just going to live underground for 20 years and that's going to be your existence. It's a fool's fantasy to think that way. So I've done everything I can, but I really think that they're going to come to a sort of negotiation, and Ukraine will have to pull back. So
Yeah.
You know what, man? You know what? This is like I just was sitting here thinking, and TradeFly, if you don't know, TradeFly is actually a pilot. And then you have all this.
Is he really?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
You have all this this training and
I'm undercover.
biological warfare and stuff. It's like a movie. Like it's like a movie. Like, so if something happens, I'm gonna get to TradeFly. We're gonna fly to Georgia, and we're gonna spend spend some time with Drewth, and we're gonna ride it out, man. So now I got some good places to go if things do start to hit the fan, man. So I appreciate both of you guys.
I always tell my friends, man, if I move to the middle of the United States, you should probably follow.
Yeah.
The pilot always survives in the movie, man. The pilot always survives.
Funny. I love trees. I love the heat that trees give off, especially watching the development of drones. Drones are what actually terrify me. These drone swarms, like,
yeah, what? I mean,
that's the next level. And we have our amazing jets and TradeFly. I mean, that's awesome that you fly one. Just drone warfare.
I actually fly UAVs now. Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay. So I flew attack helicopters in the Marines, and then I switched over to UAVs. So that's that's my gig nowadays.
Point proven. They moved the best over to that system, and it's something that that's the next kind of generation of it. But hopefully we don't have to deal with those things. Hopefully they're just delivering our Domino's pizza, right? And Ready Player One. The situation though is it needs to calm down in all seriousness. Like, you see Switzerland preparing their citizens for nuclear conflict. You see major nations preparing themselves. And this is not a situation where we should just be like, oh, we got more bombs than them, we can do this. It's like, this is a coalition of, I think it's over 50 countries that are interested, or at least slightly partnered up with BRICS at this point. It's not a small coalition of countries that are involved with this. So at large, I'm an American maximalist, and I want us to just focus on our own country and stop relying on this globalist setup of trade movement, because that's what leaves us vulnerable to, say, if China shuts off our medical supplies, or if any of these other nations that we've learned to become dependent on decide to just cut the line on a certain type of traded product that we need to keep operating as a society. That's a more powerful weapon than any nuclear bomb, because they can use it softly and they can just turn it off without any sort of conflict having been done. and we're relying on this. So I really think that us rolling manufacturing back into America and rolling, I do have an opinion that we're going to start a new deal. We did one new deal in previous American history. I think the new deal is going to be American companies building trillions of dollars worth of data centers. I think that data center construction and leaning into um, trying to control that data throughput power is going to be, I'm sure you've heard of the software write up with the proof of power concept, but I think that America is wanting not only to be the leader in Bitcoin mining, but also data share across the
Yeah.
world. We want to be the kings of that, and that comes with this whole tug of war with Taiwan. And it's funny because the Taiwan Semiconductor Company, the new plant that they started up, I believe in Nevada or Utah, actually outproduced the Taiwanese plant itself. So they produced more chips in America at TSMC than they did in Taiwan. And the
Interesting.
Taiwan, that is a very interesting move, right? Like they're upping production and they're actually pushing them out within the confines of America. And a Dutch company is the originating manufacturer of those chip producing machines. So at any moment's time, say if China or Russia does decide to move this to the next scale, this Dutch company built in kill switches into the machinery so that the entire plant system goes useless in the blink of an eye. So it's kind of an interesting situation that's set up with. And um, as long as we're buying good data, aka Bitcoin, we're going to be winners about this. It's all pointing to a race to the top to control secure data, proven blocks on Bitcoin, and really be the kings of AI. I think that this AI rollout over 2025 is just going to create some stupid gains. Like, I'm so excited that we have a Bitcoin bull market and AI rolling out at the same time, because we have Nvidia with the conference in March. And as we saw in March of 2024, that created some insane opportunities. I was able to take a lot of profits and build out a lot of portions of my homestead with those profits and buy a vehicle. And I was supposed to be a bear market. So I can't even imagine what March of 2025 is going to look like with the AI holds that I have right now. It's a super exciting time to be alive. And I'm just happy to have more time to keep stacking these projects before that comes.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. That's super cool to hear, man. Definitely, that it's actually making a tangible difference in your life, man. That's super cool,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I want to be there. I want to be there. This 9 to 5 is keeping me a little constrained though. I need to get on your level, man.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I mean, I remember last market, I was working like, well, the company I helped build, it was like a 5-person operation. We were headhunters and HR managers for commercial construction and industrial construction. They let me go because I was just getting into crypto. They let me go because I wouldn't take a jab. So then I went and contracted for the cops during the riots. And I remember holding, 6 figures of crypto with very little sleep, watching these idiots go to Rolex and they would put all their credit on a Rolex watch and they're like, look how good I look, right? I'm sitting there just suffering, holding it, having worked 20 hours in a row, no sleep, lots of responsibilities, and refusing to take profits yet because it wasn't time yet. I remember that moment. And I will emphasize that if I had not put my entire life savings into crypto on March 15th of 2020, my situation would be completely different than it is right now. So you have to stay focused through the battles, man. I mean, work at nights, I worked that a while. I got kind of lucky being able to work for Hit Network. They hired me as a researcher. I came out and then was just blessed to be able to start the basement up, keep it going, and it's turned into a monster. I feel lucky. I feel blessed. Feel thankful for my time that I've been able to do this for a job, because it's given me time to literally focus on life-changing projects and it's already making a big difference. So I absolutely re-emphasize, like, this next 6 to 8 months is time to lock the F in, because this stuff is about to get, I wanted to ask you, I don't know how much time we have, but do you have any top predictions for Bitcoin in terms of price or time? Like, where do you guys see Bitcoin going in the time frame of 2025, say a year?
Yeah, it's funny. So we did a price prediction video on the channel. I don't think FD was part of that, but it was like me, Alex O, Piper, OC guy, and I think Lunar Beaches Crypto. And we're there right now for me. Like, this is where I thought we were gonna go. I was looking at 2024, and then I was like, I think we're gonna have a little bit of a pullback once we hit that magical 100K. I think there's a lot of people that are gonna be inclined to take some profits. But that was, you know, we made that video, I don't know, months ago, probably, I don't know, I'd say 6 months ago. And there's a lot that's changed. There's a lot
Yeah.
that's changed. And, like with Trump coming back in and, his sentiment towards crypto, that changes a lot, right? And a lot of the elected officials change a lot. And just seeing the adoption, the mass adoption, and, just the continued push for crypto. I've actually, since the Bitcoin conference, I've never been so bullish on crypto. Like that,
Okay.
that was like kind of a turning event for me. And I was like, this is the first time I really started a DCA portfolio. Like, I was just a trader. And so now it's like, I believe the button has been pushed. I believe I'm DCAing in. But we're about here. I call it about 88 to 90K was kind of my top for 2024.
Well,
obviously that might not play out.
I would, I would like to show you kind of where I think things are headed, if I may.
Let's do it. Let's get into some of that
yeah.
TA.
So what this is, I have, I'll move this one over here. Yeah, I think this is it, right? Okay, cool. So this is the bull market after the second halving. So this is a Fibonacci sequence pulled of the entire cycle from the time frame of 2013, November 2013, all the way up until when we actually outperformed in this original cycle. But something very, very key happens each different time. So we have our original high here at $1,154 in November of 2013. We fall back down to the trenches. Crypto is dead. Jim Cramer makes fun of us, yada, yada. Then the degens, they just never give up. They come back up and we reaccomplish this previous all-time high, and we range in this level of the 0.786 to the 1 level for quite some time historically. Then something key that I want to show everyone here is that this current Fibonacci sequence, which is 1 to 1.68, 1.618, only takes a few weeks to cut through like butter. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. And on the 5th week, we overperform, then come back down, prove it as support, and then good times on up from there. Now we fast forward to the 2017 cycle and condense this down once again. This is the entire cycle from original high here in 2017 down to the lows that were actually experienced around January of 2019. Same thing, but we actually range for much less time in this time frame. But we go to hell. We actually had 2 entries of hell right here. This is COVID. And then we start blasting up to that all-time high, chop a bit, and then at this one, it only took 3 short weeks to break through this entire sequence. And now a lot of people felt like we got cut short in this bull market. I beg to differ on that in general, because if you pull this down and see where the top end of this performance really should have been, this top at $69,400 is essentially right in the middle of the 3.618 to 4.236 Fibonacci range, honestly hitting the top end of the expectations of the price action smack dab on the head. And now we fast forward to our current situation. And I will kind of reiterate what you said. We have a perfect storm building. We have ETFs and government adoption happening. So we got to keep this in mind as I go through this. But here's the original high at 69,420. Falls all the way back down. We hit about 15,500, then get back up to this range. We accomplished this range recapture much quicker than we had ever captured it in our bull market history. This is something that was unprecedented, to get back to the previous all-time highs before the halving of Bitcoin, which actually is here in April. And we spent quite a long time ranging. Now, it is my opinion that this current sequence that we are fumbling around in, honestly, not really fumbling, if you notice, we are jackknifing through this thing just the same as the last few markets showed. These are weekly candles, and this is again the same range of the 1 to the 1.618. So it is of my opinion. Yes, I've seen all the buy orders that are on Coinbase and Binance at 100,000, 101,000, but I am still of the opinion that we are going to overperform into the $100,000 range to about $110,000, give or take 6K, and then come back down to this as support. This is what happens every single time we do this. We come back down, prove it as support before we can start cooking back upwards, as you can see. And it may feel like, oh man, it's up only, but guess what? You always have to come back down to this range at the 1.618, prove it as support before the good times can continue. But what I think, and there's many other factors that can play into this, but just statistically speaking, on Bitcoin's velocity that it has right now, I am of the opinion that we're actually going to be between $210,000 to $244,000 per token at the peak of this bull market. And with that, we're going to see some incredible things on the top 30. This is what I'm seeing on the top 30 from the current velocity of the overall market. I think that the top 10 tokens, whoever is in the top 10 is going to have to be more than $175 billion in market cap to retain this position in the top 10. I think to retain the position in the top 20 to top 11, they're actually going to have to be between 50 to 175 billion. I think that this range is going to be 50 to 175 billion market cap sizes. And then the top 21 to 30, at the current rate that the market is expanding, we're going to see the top 30 coming in from 30 to $50 billion in terms of market cap size as things sit right now. So honestly, I think that a lot of people are underselling what this market is capable of. And I really think that there is a stupid amount of money that's about to be made for people that are crazy enough to hold altcoins and Bitcoin through the macroeconomic turmoil that we're talking about. We're talking about the nation states bringing up nuclear weapons, right? We're talking about the Great Recession, NVIDIA bubble of all bubbles, right? And people that are crazy enough to hold their crypto through this FUD, I am of the opinion, are going to see market caps of that size. Now it's about finding the right market cap that can retain or capture that top 30 and up spot to completely change your life. But one of them that I found last bull market, Polygon, I chose it just because of the logo. I had no idea about layer 2s. I literally knew nothing about the secondary layer to Ethereum. I just liked the logo. I thought it was a good team and a good product. I bought it for like 3 cents. I sold it for $2.20 a piece. You know what I mean? So it's like small plays like that. We are so beat down from how brutal this bear market has been, this accumulation zone. A lot of people are just hoping for, let's say, 120 and we'll call it good. I think that we are literally on the doorstep of one of, if not the biggest bull market of the century. And the people that are positioned in the right way, I mean, for God's sakes, take profits, right? Take profits. I take profits. But I have very tangible, solid ideas of what the next step, what the next piece of real estate is, what the next set of vehicles is for, and what I want for kids. You can see my boy running back there. He should be in bed right now, but he knows I'm not going to yell at him right now. So I really think that we're set up for a pretty magical timing, guys, not just because it's Christmas, but because we have the perfect storm. We have America talking about backing the US dollar with Bitcoin. We have ETFs. We have AI infrastructure that needs blockchain. and blockchain companies that can provide GPU bandwidth to AI infrastructure to actually make it work to begin with. This is a beautiful setup, and a lot of people don't think about the AI side of that, because to run AI at scale, you need an immense amount of computing power. So if I see things like Render Token, or there's others like on Solana, there's IO.net, on Ethereum, there's Aether. There's a lot of amazing projects that I really, really think are going to be incredible in this bull market. And we just have to see them, understand where the economic needs are moving, and act on that feeling. So I'm feeling good about it.
Right on, right on. And chat's feeling good about it too, man. They're loving it. He said, what did Harp say? He said, I thought FD had some sexy talk last week. Damn, Drew, you all right.
That's what they're saying. I mean, this is, the reason why I came up with those numbers in terms of like the top 30 and the top 20 in terms of market cap is just from historical velocity of the other altcoins in relevance to the Bitcoin rise. And I've been studying these numbers for years. It's been my job to literally live and breathe it for, say, 2.5 years. And I really feel like people are underselling what's coming for the not only Bitcoin, but the altcoin sector. Like, we think that meme coins, like, amazing. Wow, you went, like, I woke up and you're at $100 million market cap. This is great. Just wait until you see assets rolled onto Chainlink. Like, honestly, I'm looking for Chainlink in between $100 to $300, more tangibly around the $200 range. I think that Near protocol positioned next to NVIDIA, that's going to get ridiculous. If Near protocol can hold its position around the top 30, you're looking at a $40 to $108 per token price on Near protocol. So, the products that we're buying right now, that we're holding, that we have the guts to hold through these downswings, this is where insanity actually comes into play. And I'm really, really excited about it. Now, just take profits, right? Take profits. I say that all the time. Like, it's going to be really fun. Yeah. But, you can't live in, I don't know. I mean, I know people love holding their Bitcoin, and I love rolling altcoin capital back into Bitcoin, but I can't live inside of cryptocurrency. I can't drive around cryptocurrency. I cannot shoot cryptocurrency yet. But, that's for another story. I just like taking profits a lot.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And we talk about that a lot here on the show. We want people to be very, very careful of round tripping it, watching it go all the way up and coming all the way back down. That's why we're like, hey, if you're gonna do that, continue to DCA. Lower your entry into that position at a minimum, right? At least do that. But there's a lot of different ways for you guys to actually protect yourselves with stop losses, moving those up, locking in a profit. You can just have a line identified, and be like, you know what? The 100K Bitcoin at some point, if we get over that and we start taking off, like, if it comes back down to 100, I'm okay with taking profits if it comes back down to 100. And you might even get an opportunity to buy some more under 100 before it shoots up again. You never know. And I had that opportunity a couple of times with some assets. Matic was actually one of them, right? I bought a Matic, I sold it, and it dropped a lot. And I was like, well, I now have 20,000 more Matic. This is great, Absolutely. So like, this is really cool. So, I mean, it does work out for you sometimes. I won't say all the time. There are those times that you get stopped out and you want to cuss at something, but we definitely taking profits, having that, that aspect in there, or you just take out your initial, like, play on house money, like, depending on where you're at in the trade. There's definitely ways to go about it. And I encourage you guys, this is when people say do your own research. I really mean it with that, right? Figure out what it is that you want to do with this investment. All right. What is your end state? What is your goal with it? Like, and if it's only to make 20%, 30%, like, put that into the equation. It's just really, really, really important. I think
that helps you pull the trigger when you see it. When you see that goal hit, it helps you pull that trigger.
It does. It takes out that emotion, right? Like, you're like, well, actually, it probably won't, because to be honest with you, even when you're pulling the trigger, like, it's still sometimes really hard to do.
You're
right?
gonna
like,
feel like an idiot.
You're still sitting there like, damn it. And that, case in point, like, and FD's heard this story before, Cardano. I bought that at $1. All right. I saw it hitting a dollar over and over and over again. I was like, okay, this is its happy place, right around $1. And it went up. It was shooting up with Bitcoin. And I was like $2.60. And I was like, oh my God, like this has been a great investment. And I was like, you know what? I think we're at that point. Like, I think it's time to cash out, take profits here. And I think, somewhere around like 264 or something like that. Then I saw it go up over $3. I was like, God, my boy was right. He was telling me it was going to $5. I'm mad at myself. And then here's the opportunity. I can take all of that money. And here we are again, like sub $1 for Cardano, so, it's wild. It's wild to see how things can come
this weekend,
full circle.
Those old school coins that had that massive pump this weekend, that was a signal. There is capital rotation coming back to coins that people thought were dead. And that capital flows downhill. Those altcoin prospectors, they're also looking at brand new projects. They're also looking down the list in coin market cap into the 200s, the 300s. So essentially, I mean, as long as a project can keep the lights on, keep the engagement going, and ride the water of Bitcoin, all ships will rise with this tide. It is going to be intense. And you just, one thing is when I finally feel like showing my wife like the portfolio on the phone, be like, look what I did. That's when you sell, because she makes me sell anyways when I do that. So I wait until it's immense, and then I show her, and she's like, all right, get rid of it. Unbelievable. I can't believe. And she was incredible. Last cycle, we bought $180 Ethereum, and then I had a few more kids born, and I needed another vehicle with more seats. And so I showed her the Ethereum portfolio, and she's like, sell it. You have to sell it. You have to sell it. And I was like, okay.
Take a loan out against that thing, man.
Well, and I was like, I'm such an idiot. I can't believe I'm doing this. The price of Ethereum when I sold it and felt like an idiot was $4,500. And I felt like a moron for doing it. It literally only lasted at that price for like a week, maybe a month, and then has been just a complete grind ever since then. So, definitely take it into account when you feel like bragging to your loved one, or you feel like taking a screenshot. Maybe just skim some off the top just for fun. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. Pay yourself a little bit. So.
What FD says, man, when he puts on his cool glasses and he thinks he made it, it's about that time. I'll tell you what, when grandma says, should I buy some Bitcoin? I know it's profit taking time, man. So all my friends are like, you're paying for dinner. I'm like, why? They're like, well, you're the Bitcoin guy. I said, so you could have invested too, man. I told you. I've been telling you.
Oh my gosh. That's the thing. It is up to us to not train them, but to open the door to what it is. One way, I took my buddy to the gun store, and I went and bought a shotgun. And I was like, you want to know how I paid for that? And he's like, how? I was like, ICP. He's like, what is ICP? He's like, it's a crypto token. You know what I mean? Then he starts getting interested or whatever about it. But there's ways to show him, and, be a good neighbor. Show him how you're outpacing inflation. This knowledge is power.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting on one of the duplexes was more me. The other duplex, though, I'm sitting on a duplex, and I bought a bike too, a street, like a road bike. Okay. But he was getting into it, and he was just like, "Come on, man, get a bike." And I was like, "I ain't paying that much for a bike. It's a damn bike." Like, he's like, "Yeah, but you need something that's lightweight and like because I ended up doing a Century, like it was a 100-mile race, and he was like, you can't do it on that bike, man. I had like this old school, like metal, steel bike. And he was like, you got to upgrade. And finally I was like, you know what? There was a red day, man. I mean, I'm talking about like Cardano and everything was down like 20%. And I was like, today seems like a good day. Throw a little leverage on that puppy. And I made $4,000 or 4,500 in like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, man, let's go bike shopping. Let's do it.
There you go. There you go.
So
that's right, man. It's a good time to be had. And there will be a cool down or a pullback.
Yeah.
I hope for all of us that it's a deep one. And I say that in a weird way because then we can buy cheap Bitcoin once again.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something I'm hoping for. But
All right on. FD, man, you have been unbelievably quiet today. I'm guessing you have a WWE match going on at your house right now. That's usually
Oh no,
the sign.
they've been pretty quiet, man. I'm actually looking at, just soaking everything, Drewth is saying, and I went over on his show not too long ago, man. And every time I catch this show, I'm just sitting there, listening and kind of in awe, of, all the knowledge that he's bringing. So it's sometimes I get caught up in just listening to some of our guests, because we got some great guests that come on, and a lot of the things that a lot of the guests and Drewth is talking about, I'm new to. So even with the chart he just brought up, I was actually trying to emulate it on mine, so I can kind of steal that sauce, so to say, man. Yeah,
it's a
so,
very simple setup. It's a very simple setup.
So I was looking at
you're just taking a fib of the whole market, because I'm a 4-year. I operate around the Bitcoin 4-year cycle. So.
Right.
Talking in terms of when altcoins have fun, it's always November, December, the year preceding a blow off top for Bitcoin. It always has been. I've been talking about that for the past year. People are like, Drew, did we make a mistake buying all these altcoins instead of Bitcoin? What are we doing here? And literally, like clockwork, right as November 14th, November 15th hits, a freaking tidal wave of money comes for altcoins. And this really is how things work. On Bitcoin dominance, it's also important to note, when dominance falls off a cliff, it doesn't mean the price falls off a cliff. It means that the dominance over all the other altcoins is falling off a cliff. Usually Bitcoin is skyrocketing while its dominance is in free fall at the same time. And this is the chaos realm. And it's the realm where you can literally turn $10,000 into $1 million with the right product. You just have to buy at the right times, and you have to look for local support levels and have conviction. The biggest way I've seen people lose is by trying to hop from one hot ticket to the next. You see, Cardano pumped this week, so I better sell my, whatever coin that I've been holding for 5 years and go onto that train. Wait a minute, Cardano's down by 20% now. I need to go back to that other coin. And then
I did that last cycle.
And that's, you cut yourself short huge by doing that. So having conviction, even if you're convicted in XRP, be convicted in XRP. I think XRP is going to hit like $3 to $5 this cycle. And that's an immense market cap. But I think XRP, chaotically as it may be to say, I think it's going to hit $3 to $5. Now, when you're convicted, you're buying the XRP dips in mass, and then all of a sudden, you're not looking at a 5x. You're looking at a 7, 8, 10x if you're buying it at the right times. XRP was one of my first buys. I bought it for 17 cents. Got out of it for 65, and then bought near for $1.90. And now I've been building out that near bag. It's just a compounding gain mentality that you can have, and pay attention to tokenomics and market cap. They make an immense difference on how much upside can be for a product.
I do want to ask you this before we let you go, Drew. When it comes to your audience on YouTube, it's a good gauge of seeing if retail is coming back. Are you seeing new inflows coming into your community, or new inflows coming into your, the views or the likes or whatever you can kind of gauge it by? Do you see retail coming back in through, being a content creator?
I wouldn't say it's retail yet. I kind of see the middle ground between the crypto degen who's been here since 17K buying. What I'm seeing is long-term bag holders of what I call dinosaur coins. Doesn't mean that they're not strong dinosaurs, but they're long-standing altcoins that these people bought last market at the top, and they round tripped all the way to the ground. And then they just woke up. They saw it was up by 30, 50% or whatever, 100%. And they got back onto crypto YouTube to find out why the hell did that just happen.
Amazing point. Same. Yeah. I feel the same way. I feel the
Yeah,
same way. Yes, I made the point.
it's the Cardano holders, it's the XRP holders, it's the
Yeah,
Algorand holders, it's the H bar people, the XR people, the H barbarians, all these
yeah,
different cults that are, wake up and
yeah,
they're down
yeah,
bad because they hold, but at least they had conviction. And now they're waking
yeah.
up to a market that looks frothy. We're not to retail yet. And I actually checked on Google Trends. We are just starting to see a little uptick in
Yeah.
search for crypto right now. Really, who's starting to dominate the trends? Mariah Carey and her Christmas special songs. That's who's dominating right now.
Yeah.
So
What I'm talking
So
about.
that's a good point though. That's a good point because I even when we were hovering, we're still hovering, but even when we were like right at 100,000 or still in, I mean we're at 95K, and
mm.
my phone is not ringing like it should be yet. Like people's
Oh
talk,
yeah.
they're talking about it, and meme coins are really big on TikTok and things like that. But for the overall space, like I remember back in 2021, you couldn't go nowhere. You couldn't turn on the TV with somebody mentioning crypto or NFT, just
Yeah.
something like that. And we're nowhere near that. We're
Well,
nowhere near
I
that.
think I did a good job because the people that are hitting me up, they're like, "Hey, dude, should I sell this?"
Yeah.
Because like, I kind of, the people that are close to me, I'm like, "You are going to watch my show. You are going to figure out how to outpace inflation right now. You're literally going to do it." So I've, made sure that they knew. They're hitting me up asking me if it's time to sell. Is it time? Is this the top? And I will re-emphasize this outside of a silver lined mushroom cloud. I don't see us breaking that cycle trajectory that I just showed you guys. I really feel like Bitcoin is in a perfect storm. This feels like a miracle market right now to me, watching all of these news releases each day come out. This is gonna be just hold on and honestly don't overtrade. Like day trading with that certain bag, great, but don't get your hand caught in a cookie jar trying to rebalance. Oh, Ondo's not moving this week, I'm gonna move to the next one. Just lock in, do good research, find good projects, and make sure that you're not buying a project that's just being told, that you're just being chilled to, like, oh, do this because of this. Go find out what the market cap is, go find out what the token release schedule is, and do that data move for yourself. Do that data move for yourself so you can know what to expect.
Yeah, just to add on that really, really quick, man. Last cycle, I bought Phantom at I think it was like 11 cent. And then it went up to like 22 cent or something like that. I had it on crypto.com and it wasn't doing nothing for months and months and months. And then I sold it. I'm like, this is not going anywhere. I sold it. A couple months later, it went to like what, $3. And I was
Yeah.
just sitting there like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So to your
Yeah,
point,
man.
man, that's a great point that you made. And Mark Dutch, I'm
Yeah,
laughing at Mark
dude,
Dutch, man.
you see me, I'm like
Yeah,
laughing, man.
he's crazy. He's talking about he spent a lot of baby oil on Mariah Carey. So
Oh
uh,
God.
there we go.
Did she
I'll probably
stay for
try to wrap
seconds?
it up
That's
with
the
that.
real question.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
think she
Oh
would stay
gosh.
for seconds, but did you hear that Diddy had something different than baby oil in those bottles? I don't know.
Oh
Might have been a
god.
hallucinogen. I don't
Diddy
know.
juice.
I don't know. I'm just all right.
Oh,
We're
man.
going down the wrong bracket.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
going down the
Oh,
wrong
no,
We
bracket.
do this, man.
We do that
This
though.
is
We
our
do that over
thing.
here. Yeah.
End
We're
of the
going
show
down the
gets
wrong.
weird, dude.
Yeah.
We will we'll bring it back in real quick. I'm gonna give you guys a couple key areas, key levels to look at before we wrap it up and get out of here, and then a couple of shills for my guy Drew, as well as our man In and Out Crypto. I'm rocking one of the hoodies today. If you guys can't see it, this is actually my favorite hoodie I got going, but they do have a sale like everyone else, Black Friday. Figured I'd give him a little bit of love because I like my man Rocco. He's good peoples. All right. Let's take a quick look here at the charts. This is actually the daily DJ, and let's get off of that. Let's look at the weekly, right? My Heikinashi strategy that I like. Every time it flips, go ahead and make that play, long or short, right? It works really well. All right, where we're at right now, you guys know the channel. We've been talking about the channel for quite some time. We're over top of it. All right, so would not surprise me to see us retest that area, right? Flip what was resistance into support, as well as you do have on the fib extension at about 94.6 or so in area on the fib extension, right? So again, you got a little bit of confluence there, and this is on a larger weekly time frame. In the short term, where can we go, right? We got to get over that magic 100 mark. I do think, again, I think we saw part of the sell-off, right? You got up to about 99.5, 99.6. There's people that are going to try to beat that 100. It's a psychological number. We talked about that. Not surprised at all to see any sort of sell-off based on that, right? Psychology of the market, it's always a play. But now that we're getting that sell off before 100 and we go back up and retest that area, are we going to have the strength to kind of work through that? And where can we go if we do? In the short term, I think a very reasonable area to look at is about 107,000. 107,000 does take you all the way back to 2018 through the highs, right? Kind of had to interpolate between the two highs, but just a very easy trend line, simple TA, as well as the fib extension. Fib extension takes you up to about 107. I think that is a logical, reasonable area. What else is up there? There's a lot of liquidity up there. All right. So over top of 99,000, even over 100,000, people are taking leveraged short positions as well as putting their stop losses up above 100,000. That's kind of smart, right? I would take a play with a leveraged short position and ride it down a little bit, thinking that there's going to be a pullback and leaving that stop loss over top. So it makes a lot of sense. But if the price does work its way up, it's probably going to shoot past 100 pretty quick and make its way up to higher levels only based on that liquidity, right? It's kind of like a little squeeze of sorts, clearing out all that liquidity. Everyone's happy because honestly, if you look on the 3-day right now, I would bring it up, but it's having troubles loading. I'm guessing retail's back maybe. I don't know. But I think that that liquidity, it drives the price action. Okay. So that's where the bulk of the liquidity is sitting here on the smaller time frame. So that's something for you guys to look at on kind of a zoomed out approach, shorter time frames. All right. Looking at the 4-hour real quick here, give you the value area high and the point of control here. And this is for the previous range. All right. And the reason I left this one up is because it played out. All right, I talked about this a little bit on Crypto Blood's channel. I was like, hey, we got this really sharp trend line that's going up and right. I'm looking for some horizontal action over to the right here as we kind of cool off, getting up towards 100K. And once we break out of it, we retested this point of control and then we went down, right? So I don't know if that's in correlation with some of the news that's out there, but it is what it is. That's what's kind of playing out. I took a short play today based on this previous trend line, as well as having confluence with, let me bring it up here, the golden pocket, right? So you take the low to the local high and there was the golden pocket sitting right there. And that's where we found support. That's where we bounced at. So now we got a little bit of a squeeze. We got the trend line. We got a little confluence here with the 0.5 fib. And, that's kind of where we're sitting time now. So again, look for the 618, this 0.65, right? Just to see if it does come back down. What you guys want to look for on your RSI or the prime oscillator is that it starts to work its way back up, because then you could get kind of a double bottom of sorts. See the strength kind of building up and working its way up and right. That'll give you a little bit more of a warm and fuzzy when you come down and retest that area that you might be able to take a long position. Of course, protect yourself with a stop loss. Now, this is for intraday or scalping. This is not for much of a swing trade. This is going to be shorter time frame type plays, just so you guys are tracking on that. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at there. You got the golden pocket. I think it's going to act as support. If we break through this little area of confluence, I don't see why we wouldn't retest at least the 0.236. You got to be aware though, if we do find resistance at the 0.236, we could be setting up for a little bit of a reversal. And you could be starting a little trend in the other direction. So hopefully we do not see a series of lower highs and lower lows, which right now it does kind of seem to be trending in that direction. But again, the liquidity's to the top side right now. So that's kind of my bias, I'll say, is that I think that the price action is a little bit more likely to push up before it pushes down. And that's just kind of where I'm sitting at right now currently. So there you go. A couple quick things for you guys to look at here on the weekly, the 4-hour. And now we are going to start wrapping this one up. So,
I got one thing to show before we get out of here.
Yeah, man,
Just like
for sure.
2 minutes.
I forgot our last segment is the FD one more thing. So Drew,
Bitcoin,
I know you haven't seen it before. It's a thing.
I'm still looking for I'm still looking for Bitcoin dominance, man. Bitcoin dominance. I think for us to have a really strong altcoin season, I think we need to get up to this yellow area here, and this is coming in around almost the mid 60s. I hope we didn't top out here. I mean, we could top out here, but I think we need to build more volume, more strength in this market, and get Bitcoin up a little bit more price wise and percentage wise when it comes to Bitcoin dominance. And I think I know what's wrong, man. I think we need to I really think we need to get a little bit of the Diddy oil, man. And pour it on that Bitcoin dominance, man, so we can get that Bitcoin dominance to go up. We can reach we can get past 100K and we can and keep going up, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing Bitcoin get to at least my target is I'll say around 150 to 180. So I think hopefully this Diddy oil will do the job.
There it is, man. You knew at some point we were going to get out of control. Here we are.
Wow. Unbelievable.
All right.
Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know if like the Diddy joke, it's never going to get old. It's like Bill Cosby, it's just,
Oh God. Nah, this one's worse, man. This one's worse.
It's never going to go
Dude,
away.
I was like sitting on like, I can't even remember what I was watching on YouTube, but half the chat was about Diddy and it had nothing to do with Diddy at all. And I was like, what is happening right now? Like,
Yeah.
It is out of control. But
I mean, just wait till the Epstein list comes out next year. It's going to be great.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting for sure. All right, let's send some people your way here. If you guys are not tracking Blockchain Basement, that is Drew's show that he hosts, and it is at Blockchain Basement on YouTube. All right, so very, very easy as well. Go ahead, go over to X and subscribe, follow him as well. But please get over there, give him a sub, throw those numbers for him. We would definitely appreciate that. And then last but not least, my man Rocco just talked about that a little bit. They are having 20% off over at In-N-Out Crypto. I'm always rocking that swag. So use code In-N-Out Black 20. That's going to be for 20% off for In-N-Out Crypto. And that is all we got. So Drew, my man, thank you for coming on, spending time with us. I see, your family's in the background. I know that's tough sometimes. So we definitely appreciate it.
They're doing fine. They're on their winter or Thanksgiving break. They're getting to stay up a little bit. So no, they're respectful kids. You know what I mean? And I appreciate you guys for letting me come on the show. Nice to see everyone in the chat. You got like Mark Dutch and Jesse and Trade Intuition subbed. Alexandra G, always just being amazing. Wick's wife, all these
She's
cool
the best.
people. Yeah, I just lock in, you guys. This is going to be a really, really fun ride. And, I'll probably end up with a couple tanks out of this market. So I'm excited about it. And you'll be seeing me on the roadways with a loudspeaker screaming about the New World Order very, very soon. It's going to be great.
Hell yeah. Cool. One little last thing to follow up on here is the daily DGen. Unfortunately, we are looking at a negative 7.34%. This is only our second loss so far, but that's all right, guys. We are still up, I think, a good 50%. So it is all good. You guys are always bullish. You love going long. I think we've only gone short once, but that's all right. That's all right. I get it. All right. For Shizzle, we're out of here. We love you guys. Stay safe, trade safe, and we'll do it again tomorrow. Have a good night. Let's get out of here.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go, go.